So what was I saying? I was slaying. Lost
Wrong
my
words.
thoughts, but I'm still amazing. So what was I saying? Keep on playing. Midlife magic, man, I put a good still blazing.
Hello.
Hello, mate.
When I've watched the pod back, I think I get it. I don't get it in real time. I think I get a bit of a delay because it looks like I'm out of time the whole time.
I
So
don't think,
anyone watching, I do have good timing. If anyone wants to give me a
I
job.
don't think I've been analysing it to that level, but
Oh, come on.
you know,
Come on, mate.
come on.
Morning, afternoon,
Morning!
evening.
How are you? Right, okay, we're gonna have to start, aren't we, with well, first off, let me say to anyone listening, I've finally, after about 3 weeks, got rid of the virus I had, but it lingered. Anyway,
Three
moving on.
weeks, months.
It was ages. How's your
It was
week been,
ages,
mate?
mate. Let's recap the shit show that is
Okay.
my life. I won't go into great detail because there's other stuff. Obviously, I'm dealing with divorce, and my solicitor messaged and said, "Hey, I've left. You're getting a new solicitor."
Okay, thanks.
That was fun.
Great.
So stalled a bit because they've got to get up to speed. So there was lots of things like that. Had a lovely week with the kidlets. I got them
Mhm.
for a week for Easter, and it was absolutely awesome. Took them everywhere. Took them
Amazing.
to Solihull, Digbeth, went to Oni. We went all over the place. So it was absolutely lovely. And then yesterday had loads of work to do anyway. And we've had the boiler people in. Boiler people accidentally drilled outside through a cable
Oh,
which we
thanks,
can't actually even
guys.
find because it's kind of in the shutter. And that cable gives me electricity in here, in my office, where I do all my work, my singing, my recording, my self-taping, everything.
Thanks, guys.
So, don't know how we're going to fix that because the electrician is coming 8 a.m. tomorrow. So, that will be the first thing he has to tackle. He may or may not be able to fix it, and it will be expensive. But what happened was, after a whole day of stuff, came home to that. And then got an email from my lovely agent saying, "Hey, self-tape."
Oh my
And
God,
I
which
was
is absolutely
like,
brilliant, but also,
"Oh, crap." Because I knew I've got counselling today, which is online of the pod, obviously, which is the
yeah,
most
yeah.
important. I've got some work and self-tape. So late last night, I had to run out to Argos. I had to get a long, expensive outdoor extension cable, go to my daughter's bedroom because she's the only one with an actual plug that works, plug it in, put it out the window, run down the garden. And so what I have now is there's no lights, no electricity, but I've got an outdoor extension lead from a plug in the house because I'm
Hooray.
in a little tiny garden room.
I mean, we
Um,
are all grateful that you're here.
well, and doing a self tape under that pressure when I'm not I'm not great at self taping. I am not. So I just did my usual
I don't
thing
think
of
anyone is really, but
well, I did my thing of like I looked like absolute poo. And I was probably smelly, but nobody can tell on a self tape. That's a good thing. And I just did it in sort of one take. I had to read 2 bits of script, sing a song, and I just did it. And I think it didn't sound great. My agent will probably come back and say the sound quality is terrible. You need to re-record. But I just had to do it and send it because it was so stressful. It was almost better. It was. I'm very good with very, very, very awful crisis. I'm not good with kind of medium stress. Does that make sense? So if the house burned down, I reckon I'd be quite calm.
yeah. As long
So
as
when
I've
it's
known you, you're good when things are like astronomically out of control.
yeah,
Anything where there's a million things that are medium level, still difficult, but like all at once, you
inconveniences.
overload.
I can't, yeah, because my brain holds all of them. I
Mm,
can't compartmentalize. I'm
yeah.
not, you know, when people try and give you advice and you're like, that's really sweet of you, but I can't do that with my brain. I cannot, you
Yeah.
know, they'll say, why don't you do those things tomorrow? And you're like, I wish my brain would let me, but I can't. Nice.
Sweet.
And I would say on the positive pants
Mm.
forum, we'll do your positive, how can I say this nicely? Bollocks cards that you love. Um, I would say,
Lovely.
I would say this is a great thing for us to do because the more we talk and the more I listen back to the pod and the more I speak to people, is reevaluating things constantly. Like I never settle on anything, which I love about myself. Like I'm never like, this is this. And the ADHD thing absolutely plays into a lot of my life now. And it's really interesting because I think it's not that I don't like positivity. I know it's good for me. It's not how I feel like I'm wired or how I was brought up or what is kind of my core
So
and my
interesting.
purpose in life isn't, I think no matter how healthy I eat, how much sleep I get, whatever, I never wake up in the morning ready to get up ever. I'm always chronically tired, all that kind of stuff. I also think that the positivity doesn't give me the dopamine hit that I need. It's why I love horror films and true crime. I think the kind of negativity of that is a dopamine hit. And I think
I
it,
don't
the,
think my page is for you.
no, I don't. Uh, I follow you, but I won't. I'll
Oh,
give it the odd look. No, I love it. And when I'm in the mood, I'll try and embrace it. But I think in general, when you're somebody who runs off dopamine and you need those little hits constantly,
yeah,
music does that for me because I can listen to
yeah.
any range, any mood. But I think with the positivity thing, it doesn't feel dopamine in my life,
And
how
it's
my
interesting
brain
you
handles it.
say about that because a lot of what I talk about on it, and I won't delve into it, but I might do a little plug at the end of it, just in
Oh,
case
will you
people want
now?
to add it.
We'll
But
see.
what what I love most about it is exactly what you're saying. It's not trying to be like that, we're all human. People
Mm,
don't, they're not, we are not wired to be positive. We're not.
mm.
We are wired to have a negative bias anyway. That's the general person. So I am more optimistic and more positive than perhaps most. I'd like to think you are saying like, oh, actually, I really struggle with it. And actually, what I'm finding the more I delve into it is that I'm just uncovering more and more about the human brain and also about nature versus nurture and actually how you're conditioned, how you're brought up, your childhood, the influences around you, what people say, what people do, how that feeds into your subconscious, conscious mind, all of that stuff. So I get it. I get it.
But
But
do you not think there are people who are like Dr. Abby here diagnosing you? You're like a sleepy positive. You're not a full of energy, buzzy positive.
no,
But I've got friends who, and I don't know whether this is genetics, it's their
sleepy
DNA.
positive. I love that. What is
They
that?
are always full of energy. They are always up. They are always positive. They're always like, everything's like, like that. They're always like, hey, like I can manifest that for a while, but if I'm being natural, my baseline is like sleepy. And everything I've tried, and I'm much healthier now. I've lost weight. I'm eating really clean. I'm doing all the right things.
Yeah,
I took a long walk yesterday in the fresh air, all that kind of stuff. It doesn't have an impact. It genuinely
so
doesn't.
interesting.
I am like sleepy flatline. And I really envy those people. Do you know what I mean? Like they set their alarm and they get up at 6 and they're like zing, and they don't need a coffee on a drip to kind of
But
make them coherent.
it's fair to say that the world is made up of people who that works for them. The
Mm.
getting up five thing, and it works for them. Then there are others of us that doesn't work for you, but it doesn't mean you're any less able to get to a point where you're feeling peaceful and happier.
It does
I
when you have
think
kids,
I
because
think
you
the
don't ever get. I need to not have kids so I can sleep on my own time because I'm a night owl.
yeah,
But
you're the
when you
same
have
as
kids,
me.
it disrupts it so often because you have to every single day get up early. There's never
Well,
a lie-in. There's never a
and
respite.
that is a key to how your brain is under sufferance at the minute because
Mm.
sleep,
How
overarching
dare you?
absolute
My brain is under sufferance.
sleep is the one solid, most enormous contributory factor to
Mm.
how you're feeling at the moment. The lack of it, the
But
debt.
not just the lack of it. If like with chronic illness, if I have 12 hours sleep, I honestly am no different to having 2 hours sleep. I am no different with more sleep because of the layering of stuff that I've got. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah, yeah.
illness wise, and then you add kids, and then you add work, and then you add, of course. But I think my brain is so tired because it never stops. Even when I'm asleep for 12 hours, if I ever get that, it just doesn't, it must always just be going, even when I'm asleep, because I wake up knackered, and that's not normal, is it?
No. Well, I think it's normal for um, your brain's wired slightly different. My other half has got ADHD, and um, it's fair to say that there is a degree of fatigue that comes with it for sure,
Mm,
like a
mm,
daily fatigue, because you can't as easily do all of the things pre-rituals before bed that's going to necessarily quieten your brain
mm,
as other people might. you know I think that's a given. I'm no doctor, I'm no medical practitioner, but
mm.
I do know that, having been around you both, it is definitely a harder route to go to even find some sort of what I call very nurturing sleep. It's harder, and the
Yeah.
effects that it has on you day to day, and watching him, watching you, is far greater. Like you say, I'm not surprised by anything you've said
Mm.
at all.
And I think
um
I'd given up on the search because I did do a really long period of when my health got really bad of following everything. I did, I don't have my phone in my room. I didn't
yeah,
look at screens. I didn't watch. I read. I tried meditating. I tried breathing exercises. I downloaded the sleep apps. I downloaded Calm. I
yeah,
would listen to all of that. I did everything. I ate the right thing. I didn't drink alcohol. I didn't have sugar. I did all those things, and it didn't make an impact. And then I got, after months of doing it, and it's quite costly as well
it
to
should be.
to do
There's
those
that,
things. There's
as
a
well to it.
big money in eating clean, especially in our country where you
Yeah,
can't self-grow the whole
yeah.
year round. It just didn't, it honestly didn't make an impact at all. And I think I just got angry and I gave up. And maybe I should have done it more than 3 months, but to sustain that with kids and with everything is like, I don't know how people do it sometimes.
It's very, it's the whole lifestyle of the fundamentals of food and all of that stuff
Mm,
is costly. I guess what I'm trialing at the moment for me, and there's no easy road, is not the money things, the little
yeah.
daily consistent habits.
Mm,
So my venture is about advice that's free,
yeah.
that people either try or they don't. And the problem is, if you, and I've said there's no easy road. So even for me, I I have to go, right, this has to be a habit for life, not a habit
Mm,
for now, a habit I'm going to try. It's not like people taking protein shakes, I'm going to do this, or Manjaro, I'm going to lose weight,
yeah.
and then after that I'm going to stop. It's a kind of visceral brain change for life, with a tiny habit that might be free,
Yeah.
is the things I'm trying, and they're having quite a profound impact. On that note, I'm
Money.
going to go happiness box, because we
Oh,
got to. We got to pick up the pace, baby.
show us your box, Linz.
I'll show you my box.
What colour is your box?
Yellow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Drapes matching the carpet.
Yeah. Right.
Come on then, happiness box. Show us your happiness box. Stop shuffling.
Okay.
Just pick one out. Come on,
Oh, I am. I am. I
Mystic
am.
Meg.
Oh, God, guys.
Yes.
All right. Okay. I'm going to read this just as is, and we'll make of it what we will. Joy is to fun what the deep sea is to a puddle. It's a feeling
What?
inside that can hardly be contained. That's from the great Terry Pratchett, Before You Start.
Eggs are to books as what tables are to
Stop!
fig leaves. That's what
Joy,
my brain heard.
joy is to fun what the deep sea is to a puddle.
Mm,
It's a feeling inside that can hardly be contained.
mm,
How do you feel about that?
bullshit.
I,
Oh, I just hate. Do you know what? I don't. I instantly didn't like it because I don't like the something is to something as something is to something. Do you know what I mean? That's what I hear. I hear like absolute gobbledygook in my
Yeah,
brain.
you'd rather just have a simple, clear sentence, right? I get
Mm,
it. In
yeah,
which case, I'm going to
I'm
try
a
something
simple.
else with you.
I'm a simpleton. Oh no.
Yeah. So
Ugh. Cards
it
Against
we're gonna
Humanity?
it's not Cards Against Humanity,
Yes,
but
please.
if we're going to think about the universe having your back, this might be one of
My
them.
head.
This might work for you.
Ugh. I look like a tomboy
So
today.
this is better. This is a simple sentence.
Oh,
Beautiful
yes.
card. Purple. My mum loved that color.
Hmm.
My vibes speak louder than my words. I like that. I love that. What do you think to that? You're very quiet. I mean, I think vibes are a big deal. I think people's vibes are a big deal. I'm into energy and no words and what you feel from people.
100%. There was something this morning, I can't remember what it said, but it was about your life partner, husband, wife, whatever. And it said something like, it was something like, don't listen to the what they're saying, listen to how you're feeling.
Yes.
You know, that it was so much more profound and better than that. I knew I wouldn't remember it, but it was like people sell you stuff and they
Mhm.
act a certain way and their vibes can be good, but how you feel is your truth. And I'm not saying that's always a reflection on them, but you know when you meet someone and they're really, really lovely and everyone loves them and everyone's like, "Oh my God, you're going to love so and so." And you just get a bit of an ick and you don't know why. There's just a
Y-
funny, and often with
Your
me, sometimes
intuition,
your
basically.
intuition, yeah. And it
You have to trust it.
sadly, but sadly, my narrative has been reinforced by life. You know, even if it takes years, generally I am right about my intuition. Do you know what I
Well,
mean?
I think the positive in that is that you can and you have done, you have afforded to trust yourself a bit more in certain fields and certain things. You
Yeah.
trust your intuition. And I think it's really important. I think a lot of people ignore it all the time. We'll come on to that with friendship, won't we, in a bit?
But I didn't trust my intuition in choosing my major life partner. And it was always kind of a running joke, the narrative of how we met and how I saw them and what they were doing in front of me
Mm.
and how I didn't like it. I made that into a joke, but actually when I look back, that's really sad because that was the truth 17 years ago. Like that is a person. But I
Yeah,
wanted to buy
you're.
into the narrative of what they were telling me and what I thought they were showing, and I
And you
made lots
overrid
of
your intuition.
excuses. Well, I think when you're really, really in love with love and you're desperate to be loved and you're desperate to find that person, my
Interesting.
dream has always been, you know, growing old and running along the beach and being 90, but him still squeezing my butt. And that's my dream. You know, the childhood sweetheart turns into
No, no, I get it. I get it.
always having fun and laughter and silliness and someone really wanting to listen to you. Like all those things that I just looked for it too hard and it was never there, if I'm honest. And
Yeah,
I,
okay.
you know, so yeah, I didn't trust my intuition when I should have. So now I'm back to like negative Nelly.
No, I don't see it as negative. I think our negative voice is as important as a positive one, if I'm
Mm,
honest.
mm.
But I will elaborate at some point. I won't do that today. But
But you're right with
yeah,
vibes. I mean, I think we both live off vibes.
yeah, yeah, we
If I
do.
meet someone, I'm an instant aura smeller. Like I definitely get vibes.
Yeah.
Mm. Yeah.
You are so
Yeah.
bad. Right,
Yeah.
now listen, we're going to do a couple of kind of quick fiery things. We're going to come on to our friendship, aren't we, in a bit? But before we start that, we obviously this is a midlife podcast. Even the title song has the word menopause in it. And we were chatting and we thought it'd be a really good segment to share sort of quick fire things that we've sort of a lesser known, if you like, eye-opening facts about people of our time of life, women,
Yeah.
and some of the things that you might not have thought about. And if you're a guy listening, it might help some guys and whoever else is listening. To be honest, to whatever background, whatever culture, whatever persuasion, to understand a little more of this midlife process that we all go through as women and how it affects us. But I just thought it was nice for us to, you've had a look, I've had a look, to come up with some of these lesser known statements, really, that might be a bit eye opening for people if they're listening, or might resonate and they'll go, yeah, that's absolutely 100% me.
Mm.
Do you want to kiss off?
Kiss off? You want to kiss me?
Kiss off.
You want to kiss off? Who says
Right,
kiss
can I
off?
just say, when I knew that fell out of my mouth incorrectly, what was the first thing my brain did before you responded? I thought, she's
Spenny.
definitely not going to
Spenny.
let that one go. She's not going to let that one go.
Why'd you
By
do
the
it to
way,
yourself? You do it deliberately to make me look bad. Because
can I
I'm not
say,
having that.
on the Spenny thing, I was walking behind a couple of lads and they were talking about nights out and stuff. And I was so happy when they started using the word Spenny repeatedly and I was behind them overhearing it, that
How
I
old were they, Lindsay?
congratulated myself. They were about 23.
How old are you?
I'm too old to use
Could you
Spenny.
be their mother or their grandmother?
My mum, their mum, my mum, not my
You
mum.
could
Well, I
be.
am.
I could be my own mother. But you
I
could be their
wish.
granny.
I wish she was amazing.
Theoretically, you could be
I'd
their
like to be
grandma.
my mum.
Yeah, maybe.
Anyway, I knew you wouldn't let
Because
that
people can
lie.
have kids when they're like 12, 13, can't they?
Yeah. Anyway, thanks for that. I appreciate that you pick up that you picked up what I did there.
Of course I do.
Start us
Why I
off.
came into your life.
Start us
All right,
off.
I'll do really quick ones.
Go on.
So you can have cold flushes as well as hot flushes. And the cause is unknown. Why is the cause unknown? Because less than 1% of federal funding for women's health is dedicated to this. 90% of women experience symptomatic perimenopause, menopause, which is 50% of the population.
That I mean
Endometriosis,
that's the big one all on its own.
it's huge. Endometriosis, PMS, menopause make up 15% of women's health burden, but only 1% of investment. So what that means as well is the NHS for us is under huge strain because there's not enough funding and research. So it is costing us a lot of money. Erectile dysfunction funding is 6 times more money than
my God,
endometriosis funding.
I've
Going
looked
back
at that
to the
this
fact
week.
this is 50% of the population are women, and I think they're now of 1 in 3 have endometriosis, and erectile dysfunction percentage is pretty low compared to it, but 6 times more funding. You can get, I won't do the other symptoms, you can do that bit, but the market opportunity for women's health is going to increase by 25 billion by 2030 because we're just starting now. We're only just starting to give a shit. Bill Gates and Melinda Gates, the Gates Foundation, in 2025 pledged 2.5 billion over 5 years to accelerate women's health research. Hooray! Focusing on low to mid income countries. And I also wanted to add that women's earnings, the hit that we personally take, is huge. Endometriosis,
this is a big one.
periods,
This is a big one.
because it's all personal funding. We
Yeah.
generally aren't geared towards going to hospital or NHS when you have heavy periods because it's just part of your life, but it's not.
Yeah.
1 in 3 women have horrific symptoms that are abnormal, that should be looked into.
And of
menopause,
course, we don't go and get help. We just live with
we
it.
don't go and get help because we've been conditioned to be
Yeah.
told. I mean, I went to a gynecologist when I was a teenager. My mum paid privately, and he said, "This is just there's nothing wrong with you, girl. I have 3 daughters, and they all have heavy periods." This is a gynecologist, a professional private gynecologist, and he basically shooed me away and said, "Stop being such a baby." I then shut my
How
face
old
for
are you? Remind me
years.
again.
I was probably about 16, 17.
Just the
So I
worst
shut my
age
face
to
for
be
my whole
told.
life. It wasn't until I was in my mid 30s that I hadn't looked into it. I just coped with it. And then I was having a smear test and the nurse said, "Oh my God," as she did my smear. And I was like, "What? Do I have an abnormal vagina?" She said, "No, your vagina is the best I've ever seen. No one has a better vagina than you." Her words, not
Lovely.
mine. This the best.
Nice.
I've seen thousands of vaginas. Yours is the best. But she said, "We need to get you to hospital." I ended up paying. My mum helped pay privately, put it on a credit card, and they were like, yeah, you've got endometriosis. And I was like, what's that? Because I hadn't even heard of it,
No.
because it wasn't part of school, it wasn't part of education. And we take the hit. We have to buy tampons, we have to buy pads, we
Yeah.
have to buy,
Which I will
I have
never
to,
understand, by the
I
way.
don't understand, because if men bled out their butt, it would be free, 100%. And that's not just that, it would be. Um, because the world is still patriarchy, so those are the people who are making the decisions generally, and they're not
Yeah.
making the right decisions on behalf of women. Even with menopause, I pay an awful lot per month for my treatment, which
Yeah,
I
yeah.
had to fight for. Most women aren't automatically put on
No, not
um,
at all.
treatment. I don't know the numbers, but it's really low if you go
Mm.
to a doctor.
Yeah.
Luckily, I saw a specialist through the NHS. She was amazing. But all of it is like, definitely shouldn't be happening in our lifetime. It should have been that when I was 17, I should have gone to the NHS and they should have gone, of course, that's not normal. You shouldn't ever be in pain. It's not
Well, I was
normal to
going to
be in
say,
pain.
even back then, that one interaction has cost you a couple of decades of keeping quiet and suffering,
But why are periods still painful? Why
you
haven't
know.
we researched?
Yeah.
Periods have existed since the dawn of time. Like, why haven't we researched it? And there must be an answer. Why do they have to be painful? Surely they don't have to be painful. Surely there could be a way of giving women treatment every month that, yes, you might still have to bleed, but the pain is less. Why is
I mean, maybe,
childbirth still extraordinarily painful? And most people go for natural childbirth because there's less complications. Why?
maybe we can try, because we're not going to be able to answer all of this stuff today
No,
and
of course
or
not.
fathom it out, because we're
Giving you a
not
lot.
doctors. But it might be that we'll get a doctor on one day
That would be nice, because I have three
to actually
daughters.
discuss exactly these sort of women health specifically, as an interview would be interesting
But also, I
for
think I am uneducated even
me too.
now.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm disgusted in myself having three daughters and how uneducated I am with every condition, PCOS, there's so many things
Yeah, yeah. I
and all
agree.
the symptoms involved. Anyway, you'll go on.
Well, mine aren't as kind of data related, probably, but things that made me, I think I picked out things that made me go for me. A
Mm,
bit like you, I'm very I've just struggled on. And
yeah.
and it's only literally in the last 2 years for me that I've even gone, oh my God, because there's more access to stuff, but also because I haven't felt as ashamed to kind of talk about it out loud
Hmm.
as I used to. You just kept quiet because everybody A was either younger, or everyone seemed to be living through it without symptoms at all. But anyway, my things are more that quickfire things that I just think made me go, oh my God, really? That it can affect your heart health.
Hmm.
That was one of the big things for me, that the risk of cardiovascular disease due to the estrogen levels.
Yeah.
It's not just the worry of the period stopping, it's a whole body shift. And that sort of took me back a bit. It made me rethink everything
Yeah.
about what we assume, how we assume things are going to be easy. You can do this, that, and the other. That you have to actually sort of think about that
Mm.
and make sure that you're getting tested for your heart, for your cardiovascular, for your, oxygen levels, for your, you know, anyway, all of the science behind it. So I did just that. I took myself off and had everything tested and had again paid for it privately.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, that's a different thing.
Yeah.
And the other thing for me, these are things pertinent to me at the moment: bone loss. That
Hmm.
women lose 10%, which is quite a lot, 10% of their bone density in the first 5 years during and after menopause, kind of thing. No
Yeah.
symptoms, nothing, no difference. You're doing your same old thing until you get fractures,
Yeah.
until you get these brittle things going on. And so no
Yeah.
one's telling people in their 30s, lift weights, lift weights, lift weights, lift weights, increase your bone density, get on a bouncer, get on a rebounder for 2 minutes a day. No one's telling people this. And that in itself would increase your bone density of the 10% that you've lost it, if that makes sense.
And that you say 10%, that's fluctuating across the board,
Oh,
isn't it?
yeah. I mean, it's up to 10%. But what I'm saying is that that's a huge loss of bone density if you think overall that our
Yeah.
bones, the thing that holds us up, the thing we rely on to do absolutely everything, is so affected to that degree
And why do
during
we
this
not
time.
know? like people like me who cannot lift weights and can't get on a
Yeah.
bouncer, why do we not know the alternatives? Why,
Yeah.
when you go to the NHS, I tell you something, this is a big, big bugbear of mine. And I do love our NHS. It is brilliant because I know a lot of Americans in debt. But I would say so many stories I've heard is the way you're made to feel as a result of going to the doctors.
Yeah.
Now,
Oh my God.
terrible example, but had a friend, thought it was appendicitis, screaming in pain, screaming in agony, bent over double, went to A&E, had to wait around for hours, went in, and it ended up being a fart, basically. Ended up being trap wind,
Oh,
right?
oh, I've got a good story to tell you about that.
But the way they were treated made sure that they never went back. Like if they were having a heart attack, they'd die. If they
Yeah.
were having
Uh,
appendicitis, they'd die.
yeah.
Because why? We don't know. If you're in
No.
pain, you're in pain, and we all have different levels. So when you go to the doctor and you
The point is,
say
we don't know, and we're just
you
checking.
don't know. I remember a friend at school saying, "Oh, when I get bad period pain, I run up and down the stairs, and the movement, the exercise really helps with your period because it gets your blood flowing." And I remember thinking, I was like 14, thinking, I can't stand up. Like
Yeah.
I couldn't stand up. I had ambulances called because of my period pain. Like, and thinking, my God, like, isn't everyone like me? And I think if more doctors were a little bit more taking a step back and going, listen, doesn't matter if you've come in with trap wind and you thought it was appendicitis. Well done for coming in. Please always come back. Like, please, you have to be safe. That's, NHS bottom line. You have to be safe. If you question anything, there's now hotlines, helplines,
Yeah.
and it
Yeah.
isn't. I think the general thing is like, oh, waste. Look at how much money and time it
Yeah.
wastes
Yeah.
that you've
I
come
agree.
in with this ridiculous woman's problem or, whatever.
Can I just say something on the farty thingy front? Can I tell you a funny
I know you're
story?
desperate. Go on.
I have to. I'm
Go
so
on,
sorry,
Lynn.
everybody. Um, but it is relevant.
I hope it's about
Um,
you farting. That would make
it
me
really
happy.
is.
Yes.
Um, so when I was little, I say little, I was probably about 6 or 7. I used to think it was really, really funny to cross my legs. You know how you get into yoga pose and you put your, one leg on each sort of knee,
Yeah.
if you like. And then I used to think it was really funny to walk around on my knees in that shape,
Yes, I used to do that.
right?
Yes.
Do you get it? Right. I'm
Yep.
sure lots of
All the
people
time.
in their youth, when they didn't have phones, would entertain
Great
themselves in a
fun.
similar way. So me and my brother would do knee races.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, this was a really big thing. So I was doing this. I was thinking I was absolutely hilarious. It was brilliant. Look at me. My mum would kept saying to me, my mum kept saying, "Will you stop it? Will you stop it? Will you stop it? Stop showing off. Will you stop it?" So I just kept going because that is dopamine to me. She is noticing
Yeah.
me, and all I went. And then when I can tell you that I suddenly felt like I was dying, having done this, I was literally, I couldn't breathe. I got to a point where breathing got shorter and shorter and shorter, where I thought, I can't breathe. My dad was shouting, the door was open, the car was running. My mum was like out of her mind. And I can remember the thought of it now. I can remember the feeling. I remember thinking, I'm not going to breathe in a minute. And literally walked to the doorway, thought I'm about to asphyxiate and die there on the spot, and let out the most gigantic fart I have ever done in my whole life. It was trap
Don't lie,
wind.
Lindsay. You've done bigger ones than that since
It
then.
was trap wind, and it was so bad.
And it is.
So listen, if you've got kids that walk on their knees, tell them not to do it. That's all I'm saying. Sorry, I had to put that in
But
because
I think
the
they could
first
have taken
reaction
you.
is they would have
Well, they could
taken
have
me.
taken you to the hospital. And then
Yeah, and they would
how
have
would the
done.
doctor have reacted to you?
Well, I
You
probably,
reckon?
well, A, the worry of getting there and not being seen in time is number
Mm-hmm.
one.
Mm.
B, anyone caring at all because you've got this pain and breathing that you can't describe. Well, you know, it's anyone's guess. I'd like to think that someone would get there in time and that you would be helped, but you don't know, do you? It's a lottery.
But
Depends
even
on
when
where
you
you
are
live.
helped, if they'd have like done something and gone, oh, it's a fart, and given you some, anti-gas medication and you were fine, it's the reaction of the doctors, it's the reaction of the nurses, it's the reaction of everyone that, especially when you're a child, would have
Yeah,
reinforced to you.
yeah, without a doubt.
And it's a scary place as well. When I took my daughter and she'd split her chin open. Like every time this was like 3 years ago. Every time we drive past the hospital, she goes like that.
Well, yeah, because your
She goes, "Oh, it's
experiences
horrible."
frame your emotional response to things, and our emotional response to things on average, I don't want to get geeky, but that initial response to something, if someone says anything or it's a trigger, is the first thing that your brain will run with is the emotions and then get catastrophizing out of control. And that response probably lasts on average about 90 seconds. So that's quite a long time for a kid
But
because
also
you
our
just get caught up
parents,
in that.
and we do it, we reinstill fear of doing good. So don't clean your teeth, you'll go to the dentist.
Oh,
You'll end
yeah.
up at the dent,
Or
like that's a bad thing. Like, you know, or we'll take you to the police station,
yeah,
we'll take you to the hospital. It's all a threat, isn't it?
yeah.
Whereas we should be instilling in kids like, don't worry, if you do stick that thing up your nose and it gets stuck, we will go to the hospital and they'll sort it out and it will be fine. But I would advise you not to do that. Like it's more of a threat, isn't it? Like a bad
Yeah.
thing.
Mm.
'Cause the kids are always afraid of the dentist, and our dentist is lovely. She's
But
so good with
to be
them.
fair, I am.
Oh, I am. I hate it
I
because
mean,
it hurts.
I'd love to do a survey. In fact, I'm going to put a survey on this week's pod episode. Who are you afraid of the dentist? I'd love to know the results of that.
Yeah,
I'm going
some
to
people
guess.
probably
I'm
get
going
their
to guess
kicks.
80% say I don't like the dentist.
Not a
I mean, I'd
is
be
it
amazed.
sadomasochist like in Little Shop of Horrors, the
Yeah,
dentist in that gets a
yeah.
bit of a get a bit of a
Bad
hard
rap.
on. Bad rap.
Um, Carrying on. Last couple
Go
of
on then.
things.
Go on.
Rage. Rage is a symptom not talked about enough. Hormone fluctuations. Rage. The actual feeling of rage. It look not just like sudden anger. For me, this was the big
Mhm.
thing because I don't get this rage ever. And then I was getting out of nowhere 0 to 1,000. I was
Mhm.
getting rage to the point where you were like, it was completely irrational and completely overwhelming and completely like not me. And it isn't personality, it's biology.
Mhm.
That was another big thing for me where I started having odd feelings of that. Um, and then the worry attached to that, thinking, oh my God, are people going to think I'm this rage baity person? Do you know what I mean? I'm using another keyword that's down with the kids, rage baiting.
But
But
I think
anyway,
that again, it's made into a joke,
do
isn't
you
it?
get
Like
that?
the male joke of, "Oh, she's on her period," or
Yeah.
"God, I've got a lot to deal with. My wife's going through menopause." Of course, the male experience is horrible having to live with it. But I think what men don't do often is educate themselves and help. I think that narrative that I've had my whole life of, "Oh, you on your period," like is very, very common. And I'm
Mm.
like, you don't really understand that, being on your period, you're more man-like. You have more is it estrogen? Like
Yeah, yeah.
you're actually
Yeah,
more
no,
male when you're on your period. So yeah, the
exactly that.
rage and the male rage as well, it's very different to generalizing, but
Yeah.
the female rage, the rage I feel during perimenopause, I
Mm.
think is closer to the male rage. I've never been rageful. I
Well,
can get
this is what I'm
angry.
saying. When
I feel like I can smack, the whole punch your fist through a wall. That
yes,
I
yeah,
now feel.
yeah,
I feel the
yeah. And you know me well enough, pal. We'll come on to that.
mm,
But the idea that I have, and it's been witnessed, and it's purely the stage of life I'm going through. And I can count them on one hand, but I've had instances where I've literally got that male essence of like punching the air or doing something physical in front
hmm
of that person where
mm.
they've gone, like you're,
Oh yeah.
like you've lost it.
I want to throw a plate. And generally it is also, I don't know about you, um, extremely irrational. I know it's
Yeah, yeah.
irrational. So like
Oh,
I get it with the kids. The kids are massive triggers. And sometimes I'm making their dinner and they'll say something and I just want to pick the plate up and smash it against the wall. Like, and I wouldn't
mm,
because it would scare the life out of them. But it's not a rational response.
no, not at all. And I think, I mean, I won't. There's many more, but they're the things that those are the few things that I wanted to share that I wanted to say have surprised me a lot and made me go, oh my God,
Mm,
there are many, many, many more. And we will continue to talk about this throughout the life of the podcast
mm,
and bring up other issues because I think it's nice to have a big segment for this because I really would love it if people started to engage with the comments on our podcast,
Mm,
because it will help educate us,
mm.
because we're in need of educating. At least I am. I can't speak for you. But it's
I
the thing
really
of,
am in need of educating in
but
all
we just,
corners.
I mean, I would absolutely push the point that we want to learn, and we want to learn, and we want to teach others some things, or at least help others in this way that we're talking now about feeling better about that this is normal, that the impact that this stage of life has is tremendous,
Mm,
and it affects you individually in all different ways. We're all different, but that we can get the discussion open, and we can get people feeling like, oh, that's okay.
mm,
That's okay to feel like that.
mm.
And then look
Yeah.
down the line at ways of trying to help ourselves,
And also help the world understand that we are framing things wrong,
Yeah.
that, you know, there could one day be a cure
Yes.
for, period pain. There
Yeah.
could. There could. It's not out of the realms of possibility that one day our daughters won't feel pain. The pain of menopause, all these symptoms, there's just not enough funding. So we can't say that there won't be a cure.
No.
It would be amazing to know in the future, whenever it is, generationally, my children's children, that they are at least framing it properly, that we are working towards that.
Yeah. I mean,
And that's
there
the
are
answer.
there are significant breakthroughs. For example, if you don't have many symptoms, and perhaps you have the one, which might be the hot sweats.
Yeah.
Now that they've designed a pill that you can take, which will alleviate just that symptom, or
Mm.
at least I've not taken it. I don't know anything about it, but it'd be something I'd be interested in looking into, because I wouldn't want. I don't fall in the category of necessarily going for HRT,
Mm.
or So it's all scales and degrees, isn't it?
But then
But
again,
to
that
trial
that
that
feels
one
nuts.
symptom,
It's a positive, but also it feels like a negative, because the numbers are that 90% of women are very symptomatic. So that
yeah,
pill
yeah,
is really for the 10%. So it's amazing and I love it. But at the same time, it's putting the money into the smaller percentage of what needs to be done. Does that make sense?
agreed.
Yeah, I could talk about this all day from a very uneducated point of view, and I'd love to learn
Me
more.
too, which is why I would say, again, I'm going to urge people to please get this conversation going, guys.
Yeah.
This is episode 8. We haven't had conversation yet. We haven't.
Can you?
We've had some comments, we've had some beautiful questions,
Yeah.
but let's get a conversation going.
I'd love to hear people's symptoms because it really interests me, and whether it is menopausal symptoms or not. Because if anyone's like me and has lots of different conditions, you
Yeah,
second guess.
yeah,
So I'd love to hear from people who have most women do, I suppose, but like who do have endo and are going through menopause and have ADHD and have fibromyalgia, and and how you medicate that and how you help yourself, because you don't
yeah.
really know which one's which. But yeah, please, I mean, ask us questions and give us comments as well. Like, teach us things.
Yes,
Please
please.
teach me
Um,
things.
Sorry, I looked this so.
Still here, you got it. Who picks
What's
up?
this?
Who shows up when the world feels crowded? Run the friendship audit, line by line, we got it. If you're down when I'm down, you're a lifelong prophet.
Right, friendship audit, mate.
Mate.
This is a
Mate. Mate.
feature section.
Right, let me tell.
Essentially, there's been lots of people who talk about our friendship so far, which we love. We love you all, and we love each other, don't we?
Yes.
So I
I
thought
think
we'd have a
we do each other good. I am the negative to your positive, you're the positive to my negative. And I think you need that in life,
I think everybody needs it in life. I think, to be
personally.
honest, we're completely unfiltered. You're mildly roasting me most of my life,
You
and
needed it.
I did need it, and I do need it on a constant basis. So I thought in this section, what we could do is essentially do a bit of a friendship audit,
Yeah.
talk about a couple of things, nice sort of positive things about each other,
I will
and
try and
then
concentrate with my period
look.
pain and my ADHD. I will try
Yes,
so hard,
okay, okay.
Linz. I promise, Mum.
friendship audit, no filter, no anything. We're just going to have to go with this, all right? And before we do the actual quick fire round, I think it's fair for our listeners to know just maybe one thing about each other
Hmm.
that we're really good at as a friend. You start.
What about each other
Yeah.
or about ourselves?
You tell me one thing that's really good about the fact I'm your friend. One thing I do, one thing I say.
So you want me to big you up? You want me to tell you? You tell me great
Essentially,
things about
and I
myself.
tell you great things about you. Yeah.
Okay, I would say that you dedicate a huge amount of time and thought to our friendship, which is something that I think a lot of people don't necessarily do. It's not, I don't mean meeting up for coffee and nice things. What I mean is the things you don't necessarily want to do, the things that are boring, the things that are tedious, you will still invest into our friendship. Is that good enough?
I
Or
feel
did
all
you want a better one?
emotional. No, I feel like,
And you have a nice bum.
oh.
This is for everyone who hasn't seen it before. This little girl Lindsay. It's when you go, oh, oh, you turn into like a little
I
Kristen
just
Wiig's
think
version
that's
of Bjork.
great. Um,
Yeah,
I love that. I
those
actually
two
love
things.
that because it comes from such a deep set place of love. Like
Yeah,
all of those little things of the things that most people would just get bored and walk away. I just can't because the goal at the end of it is to make you happy.
yeah.
Um, you are right. I can only pick one thing, so I'm going to have to be really selective now because I could write a book about you
It's hard because
being the most brilliant friend.
I'll go away and I'll think of 1,000 more and better ones, but you have to just
No,
go with it. You got to go
you
with
have,
it.
yeah.
Pick one.
Um, I I would say if I had to sum it up in a sentence, I've never met anyone in my whole life that's anyone on the planet that would be like my ride or die, my Thelma and Louise. The one person, the one thing I will say about you with our friendship is in all the time, all the time, all the way along, I have never felt more safe in my life with anyone. Not by safe I mean like it's my absolute safe place. If the world was going to shit, I know that as long as you were there, I'd be all right.
Oh, mate. It's such a shame we're not gay, isn't it? Because
And you
it
got
would be
nice
the answer
tits.
to all of our. Maybe she is, folks.
Did that make sense? That was
Yeah.
shooting from the hip there.
And it's the same. It's that, I don't people don't know our whole story, but like we've crossed continents for each other. We
Yeah,
have got up at God knows what time in the morning to drive for hours to be there in crisis. We have,
yeah.
and also the link, like I I don't know if I said it on the other podcast, but when your darling mum passed, I never answer my phone. Anyone
No,
who knows me, because
no.
I don't want to be a phone person. I just don't, I never answer calls and I don't like speaking for some reason. And I was in the car with my ex and the kids and everything. For some reason, I was like looking at my phone, which I never do. And you
Yeah,
called
no,
and
that's
I
fair. Yeah,
answered as well, which I never do. It's so weird. It's like that sister bond, that twinny bond that
yeah.
I also think we've known each other for such a long time. We're bonded now. We're in sync.
And also that
Ah,
there are areas for development, but we'll pass over those today because I
eh.
want to keep it in that nice feeling. Now, what I've decided is the friendship audit ought to be a question bank of quick fire answers. So I'm going to ask some questions and we have to just knee jerk. So the answer's going to be either you're going to say you or me, you know. So I'll give you a tester one just so we can start it. So
Yeah,
who is always just about to leave but hasn't even started getting ready?
Lindsay.
Yeah, okay, you get the game. And we have to say it straight away, right? After the question's been asked.
I remember you
This
taking
is a
great.
massive roast.
Do you remember taking great offence at my ex's 40th because I'd said to his mum, "Oh, Lindsay will be late. She's always late." And you got there and she went, "Oh, she told me that you're always late." And you were like, "What? What?
I was
Yeah, you."
upset. I
Yeah.
didn't tell you at the time, but I was pretty upset.
Yeah, I know. And I was like, it's true though, isn't it?
But it's not so much nowadays. I'd like to say that anyway, disclaimer. It's not so much nowadays. In fact, if anything, if anyone knows me, they'd be like, I'm a bit confused because in work life, I am obsessively OCD about being an earlier hour earlier
Mm.
than everybody else.
Maybe that, see, this is what I mean. My bullying helps you. Maybe you hearing that was like, right, I'm going to prove I'm wrong.
I've now gone the other way. You've given
Yeah,
me a like phobia. Right. Okay. We ready for
that's
this?
what I do. Right, I'm ready.
Okay. So, who is more likely to walk into a room and forget while they're there?
Abby,
Abby. Who checks their phone but still doesn't reply?
Abby,
Abby. Oh, I nearly said myself there, but I was trying to be nice. Who starts a story and forgets the point halfway through?
both.
I was going to say I've confused myself there, but I think both of us.
You forgot what the question was already.
I
What was the
did.
question?
Oh my God. Um, who reads a message that's been sent? We do a lot of voice notes, though, to be fair. Who reads a
Yeah.
message, overthinks it, and then never replies? Oh, Abby, I would say.
I never reply.
No, I know.
And I think my ADHD makes me reply too quickly to people. I'm quite
I said
consistently
you,
good at
but I was
replying.
thinking about there's probably not a, it's a relevant
I'd
question.
say neither.
Right. Um, okay, I'm going to skip that one. Um, who suggests going out and then regrets it immediately?
Abby,
Abby. Who's checking the time to leave first?
Lindsay.
Wow, that's an interesting one. Because I would have said neither of us, but you've gone straight to me, savage.
I would say that you, when we meet up, often have something else to do or prepare for.
Yeah, that's true. I
So
know that's
you'll
true.
say, I've got to get back because I've got to prep for this gig tomorrow. I've got to get back because blah,
Yeah.
blah,
Oh
blah.
my God. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Whereas
Fair. All right.
because of ADHD, I have to put the whole flipping
Thing.
day. Yeah,
All right. Okay. Who's
yeah.
more likely to cry over something completely random?
Abby.
Abby.
I feel like people wouldn't believe this about me. Look, the last two auditions I've had, one was Dead Mum Billy Elliot, right?
Yeah.
And this one I won't talk about because I don't know if I've not got it yet. I know I've not got Billy Elliot. But they were both like sad monologues and
Hmm?
I just couldn't do them. Couldn't do them. Like I'm such a baby. I was like, "Oh, Billy." And I couldn't get through it without crying.
But that's the
I cry a
emotional
lot.
actor. That's the sort of method
No,
emotional
I'm
actor.
too. I'm no. You've got to be good at controlling it. You can't just bawl your eyes out all the time. No, I'm an very overly emotional person. I've probably already cried 3 times today. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's true. At
I
least we
don't think
both
people
hit
would
the
believe
same.
that, but I cry
Okay.
a lot.
Who overthinks everything?
Abby.
Oh
Oh,
my
both.
God.
Do you think both?
Yeah. I think we probably don't know that about each other because you can't tell if you're overthinking, can you?
Do you think that's ADHD?
It's an interesting one that I think it plays a massive part in.
Because you pre-plan. It's like
Mm,
the Ally McBeal thing. You have to see every situation, play it out for safety.
yeah. Ah, I call you. Okay, I'm going to do some controversial ones. These are for the fans of the pod. These aren't quick fire. This is just a couple of questions now, just to mix it up. Have you ever ignored me on purpose?
No.
Okay.
But I do that to people a lot.
Okay, that's interesting. Oh, that's interesting.
Mm.
Explain. Why do you do it?
Safety. Like you said, like either I feel safe with you or I've got to that point where I've known you for 20 odd years and I couldn't give a shit.
Yeah.
I don't know. Not sure which one it is, but I don't feel like your judgment, if it ever came, would bother me. Like I feel like I could live with it. Whereas everyone else, even strangers, like I'm in constant fear of everything and everyone.
But do you think that I would ever judge you?
No, but I think we've known each other that long. We've got that kind of relationship. I would understand where it was coming from. I would understand the conversation.
Mm.
I kind of get you enough that even if you said something that was a little bit,
You'd go, okay,
well,
well,
no,
that's
I
going
would
on.
say, Linz, I did
Yeah.
what,
Well, you
it
have
would be a
done.
yeah,
We have done, haven't we?
yeah,
I love the fact that for those people listening, things like it
all
might,
10 of
I'm
you.
just thinking of example, practical things, for example, trying to organize a pod or we were looking into a few bits and pieces. The lovely thing about friendship is that you should just never dwell on the fact, go, yeah, okay, never do
No.
that. Talk about your life, be honest, say what's going on, organize things, because then when you're in the place with the other person, you're in the place because you actually have got the time and it's the right planning for you. So many people say yes to make someone else happy and
Yeah.
fit into their schedule. It will only, I can't speak, only lead to unhappiness, I think, in the long run with that. You'll
Yeah,
feel
because it's
that
not what you really
slight,
want to do.
exactly.
So if you
Last
said,
thing,
I've got an idea for a pod, and I said, no, I don't like it, done. We both have to agree, and I'm not offending you personally.
no.
I think we understand that, but most people don't. I think they get personally
No.
offended.
And actually, I had a bit of feedback this week to say, oh, don't I get offended by your constant bullying of me?
Well, you don't see what she's like off pod. She's very well behaved right now.
Oh. Um, and
Hmm.
I'm going to end by saying in this section
Yeah.
before we get to that. By the way, we've had some.
By the way, sorry, have you ever? You didn't answer.
Oh, I can't remember the question now.
Oh, that's
Oh, have I ever
oh
purposely ignored you? No,
yeah.
never, actually.
Oh, you
No.
say that now.
No, no, I haven't. And I have not ignored, it's the wrong word. When I can't handle it emotionally, I can't think a way through it, I have not replied to people.
Yeah, because you do that where you don't have blue ticks, so nobody knows whether you've read it.
Have I got that on my thing? I don't think
Mm-hmm.
that's deliberate anymore.
Mm.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
I didn't know that. Um, Last thing,
yeah.
is there anything that each other could possibly do that would tip you over the edge and make you go, be gone, get out of my life?
If your partner mistreated you to a point where we had discussed on multiple occasions, and I said, as your best friend, you must leave for your own safety. Let's say that's the scenario, and you carried on.
Yeah.
I think I might have to tough love and step away because it's something that we've both been through many times, and
Yeah.
I think that situation with friends and family of when you hash through it and you're supportive, and in the end you're like, no, you must leave, and they
Yeah. Yeah.
don't. I think that's really it's self-preservation as well.
I think when
I
you
think I
care
yeah.
so deeply and love someone so deeply, I think if they're at risk and they're ignoring your advice and they're at danger, I think sometimes what else, I understand that people do that. I understand
Yeah.
that people let people go. Don't do that to me.
No, but I would be the person that caused a problem. I would probably message your dad and tell him. I would probably call the police. I would, I would step in and it might piss you off.
Right.
I
You
think
think
that's
that would
true
be,
friendship when you're willing to ruin the friendship
yeah.
for the good of that person. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so if I was in that sort of situation and I
Mm,
ignored your advice, that would
mm.
mean, okay.
Yeah, but I'd step in first and I'd put my neck out and it knowing that it might end our friendship. But then I would be like, right,
I think it's
it's your
quite simple
decision.
with me, with not just you per se, but people.
Mm,
It's one thing that I really care about is um, protecting someone's heart. So,
mm,
for example, the only possible thing that could possibly make me go, absolutely not anymore, is if you broke my heart.
mm.
And we say that with lovers and things, but I mean that with friendships, it's the same thing. Now, it wouldn't have to be like great big things, like I don't know, sleeping with my partner, whatever. They're huge things because it happens to people all the time. That's like a given. But even for
Luckily, we have
example,
different taste.
if even for example, even if for example we went into some sort of big scenario which was a social gathering or whatever, right? Say for example you deliberately, you're not this person, but you deliberately did something and it really humiliated me
Yeah.
in
Pull
public.
down your pants.
Like it could be any, it could say something that was really, but
Mm.
if 20, 30 people um were then, I was the butt of a joke,
Let's say I outed your big secret as
whatever.
to
Yeah,
get a laugh. Yeah.
that
Yeah.
never again then for me.
Yeah.
it,
Yeah.
it's about, I suppose, about heartbreak and trust for me. That is always the two big things that would make me go over.
Yeah.
The trust breaking, then it's gone, isn't it? You can't get it back. It's a bit like a thread.
Yeah.
I don't know why I put my arm up here to do that.
To show your muscles. Show us your
Ah.
muscles.
Anyway, right. Very exciting. We've had some video questions this week, which we're going to finish with. So let me just get this lined up.
We've had loads.
And you can
Basically,
yourself introduce this for me.
we've had loads and we've had to pick a couple. We might put more on future pods, but
Yeah.
people were very kind. A couple in particular who are mates of mine in the industry.
Yep.
Are we starting off with?
Yes. Yeah.
So, first question is from the stunning, talented, golden-hearted,
Yes.
amazing Nikki Gerard, who
Yes.
I've done quite a few shows with. I think we did do Little Scrooge. We've done shows together in the past. She's incredible. We've shared roles as well in different companies. I think she played Evita. I've played Evita. I think I've just been up for Dead Mum in Billy Elliot. Didn't get it. She did in the past and has played it. So not bitter about that at all.
Yeah.
But she's amazing. She also runs a choir. She
Yeah.
teaches. She's very
Yeah.
motivational. You would love her. We have to get in touch. But
Yeah. Thank you, Nikki, for this question, by the
yeah,
way.
she's just an absolutely awesome human being that
Yeah.
deserves all good things. And she's very kindly sent in a lovely question.
Yeah, so I'm going to play that question for us now, and we can hopefully give her the answers that she wants.
Hi. So, I have a question for you. As a woman of a certain age, I can ask you how you manage this time of life with your schedules, with your singing, with the effect on your mood, temperature, voices. I'm curious because menopause can kick a backside, and performing with all of those things is an interesting prospect. How do you navigate that?
Thanks for that. What a great
I love her.
yeah, I know. She's
I mean, firstly, my wish is to be as cool as Nikki Gerard with
Yeah.
your nose ring and your sexy glasses and your awesome haircut. I mean,
right.
yeah.
What an
just-
inspiration.
I
Great
don't.
question. Thanks, Nikki.
I wish I could be that cool. Do you want to go first?
Probably not, because I just hit my arm. I think, yeah, I just need to think through what I want to say about
All
that,
right.
'cause it's such a good
This is
question.
why we work, because I don't do thinking. I just blurt out the first thing that comes to my head. So how do you navigate stuff? So I could talk about this for hours. Again, I'm sure we need to do a whole separate pod on one subject. Because there's a lot to talk about: our place in the industry, the availability of work, the
Yeah.
want for someone who is this aesthetic, this age, in musical theatre and in gigging. But I would say I'm going to answer the vocal side of it.
Yeah.
I've always had pretty good vocal health, often not because I look after myself. When I was on Joseph, when I was young, I was doing 12 shows a week, smoked, drank, stayed up all night. And it was a joke. It was like Abby has voice of steel. She has vocal cords of steel. She can scream her head off till 2 a.m. and then just shoot out 2 shows. And I was like, ha 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 ha. And then you hit ages along the way and you're like, oh shit, that isn't who I am. That was because I was young and juicy
Yeah.
and full of
Young and
all the
juicy
lovely,
and full of all the
you know,
right
collagens and freaking all the other
Hydration and
keratin
yeah.
and all that shit. And once that goes, I think you do need to be a little bit more careful. My main thing was stupidly, I'd kind of given up theatre, and I was also exploring my voice at the same time as what I didn't realise going through perimenopause. So I was sort of learning a bit more about belt technique and strengthening and wondering why I wasn't getting there. And I get very frustrated. And I think looking back, it was because I was going through perimenopause. So I didn't have the strength and the moisture needed to support the journey I was on. I would say I still do all the things before, vocal rest,
Yeah.
very gentle steaming. When you say steaming, this is a whole heap of trouble, but I would say not really hot and for only a little amount of time. Vocal rest when you're a performer is like key, I would
Yeah, I
say, which
agree.
is really difficult when you've got kids because you just scream at them all day long. But
And also you strain more when you talk than when you
yeah,
sing. So
absolutely. So a lot of people are teaching.
yeah,
Teach on the sidelines, so that
absolutely that.
wrecks my voice.
Yeah.
I would say even though I'm not sure it even works, but I would say psychologically things that help you. If you believe that drinking fish sperm will help you, if you believe,
Yes.
the thing, or collagen, it's very hit and miss about collagen drinks, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because a lot of people have said it's not actually proven that it does anything because you
No,
kind of
no.
drink it and then pee it out. But I think it doesn't matter if it helps you psychologically. The things I do are the things that I believe in.
Exactly that.
And I think, I've started drinking more aloe vera water, coconut water, like natural hydration.
Yeah.
Um,
People talk a lot about the coconut water thing,
I
being
also
a,
think,
but it's whatever
I mean, I
works,
do
isn't
think
it?
it's a big, but again, really expensive. All of those things really expensive.
God.
I would say, I used to say to friends of mine, like, have a little bit of alcohol before you go into an audition, a little sip of whiskey or a little sip of brandy or a little sip of port, some kind of hard alcohol. This is personal. This isn't doctor's advice, but I feel like the fumes help. It's a bit mentally, and
Yeah.
also a little shot sometimes helps your nerves, helps you kind of bang in, whatever helps you. That's the thing
Yeah.
that used to help me is like, right, if I'm really nervous, have a quick shot and I'm just something tiny. Um, just anything that you buy into. I think a lot of students of mine, they warm up for too long. They bring stress into their
I
lives,
think
all
I
of that
think the
kind of stuff.
fatigue of too long a warm up, I would say, avoid that. I'm like
Yeah.
you, not too hot with the steam, a little bit,
I
but you
mean,
can get these
yesterday,
really nice sort of nebulizers now. The things
yes.
that are very gentle and they've got saline solution and the
Yeah.
things that are about purity. But there's nothing. I don't think there's nothing to really beat a consistent level of hydration, drinking enough water per
Mm.
day on a regular basis. Like I say, consistent habits. I talked about it at the beginning of the pod. But for me personally, with the sort of toll my body takes over all the multi-disciplines that I do, if I didn't just constantly drink, which I do, drink, bottles everywhere, bottles with me all day, all
Mm.
night. Even now, I'm conscious that I've had a coffee and haven't got a bottle with me.
Yeah.
Um, for me personally, and my level of activity and my lifestyle, I've got to be drinking constantly
Mm.
in order to have any kind of performance health,
Drinking
I would
water
say.
constantly, just to
Yeah.
clarify. Whereas
Um,
I'm constantly drinking. But
yeah.
also, in a nutshell, staying relevant, I think it's very a tenuous thing, isn't it? I think staying relevant when you're 46 can be a bit cringy. So be careful. Because I think some people try too hard. And yes, social media is more important than when we started. Yes, there's all this stuff, but it doesn't mean you have to. It's not the be all and end all.
No, I
If you
agree.
if you're not feeling it, don't force it.
Great advice. If I could, can we put that on a t-shirt?
If you're not feeling it, don't force it.
I agree. I think it's a great logo. Should we have our second question?
Yeah, come on.
Um,
I don't think that was a great answer for Nikki, but we could we
no.
could talk for we could talk for
um,
hours about it.
you might want to introduce the second guest that we've got on this question as well.
Yay! This is lovely Matt Mills. This is somebody I've worked with loads, absolute ray of sunshine, has also worked with Nikki. and has done a million different things. He's very he teaches yoga, I think I'm right, and has loads of following with that. I think he's got his own pod as well.
Amazing.
He also does some techie stuff. He's done everything. But he has a wife and a couple of kids, so he's very relevant. He is
Yep.
sort of dipping his toe back into the water.
Fantastic.
I think he went and did a dance call, specifically a tap call the other day, which is like we were laughing about it because it's, when you haven't done it for years and you're older, it's like, oh, my knees, my hips.
But
So
we're grateful to Matt because
we're really
he's
grateful.
actually sent in four questions, I think,
Mm.
and we've sort of selected one. But he is an absolute legend, so thank you for doing that.
And we will hear the others another day, I
Yeah.
think, because they're all great questions.
So here is his question. Here he is. Lovely
Hello.
Matt.
So, ladies, I've got another question for you. At the moment, there's a big thing on social media platforms with the likes of Cameron Diaz and Kate Winslet about how they want to grow old gracefully, I suppose, really. And particularly, this, I suppose, is more a woman's type of thing. They're shying away from getting Botox and lip fills and all that sort of stuff. And I just want to what's your take on it? Personally, I think growing old gracefully is so much better, and I find an older lady with no work is far more attractive than that same lady having had that work done. Normally looks like a duck.
I love him. It's true though. It's very in to be duck, especially with a lot of the mums. Like you notice that they're very duck. Yeah. It's
Can I say two things?
yeah.
Gorgeous and
Yeah.
also so stagey. Love where he's filmed that video.
I know, it's
Love
so
it.
good. So good. A great example of a hard-working performer. Like we have to be
Yeah,
so
absolutely doing that.
multi-talented. You can't just do one thing. So Matt's a great example of that. And he's a great dad and husband and does a million things.
And an
What's
advocate
your
for women, which I love. I've got.
great advocate for women?
I'll jump in with this one. I
Yeah.
think I was watching all of the debate on this, and I've watched
Mm.
the Pamela Anderson and all of these people that
Mhm.
he listed lately, and they're very, very inspiring. If I'm honest with you, if I'm taking a little bit of leaf out of the natural book of growing old gracefully, I think there's a fine line for me because we're in an industry where you and I know that it gets tougher and tougher as you get older to get seen, to get jobs, to get booked, to get, and I spend a time on both sides of the scene. So, I've got an agent and do the acting. I haven't, not as prolific as you, but I also do a lot of concert touring, performing, sort of album touring, lots and lots. And that is on stage. It's not in a musical, in a pit, not being seen. It's being seen. So there are pressures on looking good, and we've talked about this in past pods as well. So I think I probably have got to a stage where I want to feel like probably a little bit extra on stage because you want a little bit of vavavoom. You want to, in terms of looks, and maybe it might be how I style my hair, maybe it might be a certain makeup or something, or maybe lashes and things like that. But generally, physically, bodily wise, I'm keeping it pretty natural. Because what I don't want is to go completely unnatural and to turn up in a room for anything and people look at me and think she doesn't look like, that's what she looks like in real life. That disparity between the authenticity of when people meet me versus what you see. It's about accepting and loving the process that you're going through with aging. I think it's tough because when you're on a screen or you're on a stage, you're being compared all the time. We're being compared all the time. But women that are speaking out are really helping feed into a really positive dialogue for me as an aging woman in this industry, to not jump into the trappings of all these things that are being offered, facelifts, fillers, all of the things that I've got absolutely no judgment on. Whatever makes anyone feel good, I'm a big fan of it. But each of us are very different about what makes us feel good and where we want to go with that journey. And I think that's what I would say in answer to that question. I think whatever works for you, it sounds like a very woolly answer, but whatever works for you to keep you centered and happy, doing what you do day to day is fine by me. I've got
I think
no
it
judgment.
ties into Nikki's question is you do you, bitch. Like,
Yeah,
you know,
right.
you have to learn. The process is first learning who you are.
Yeah,
Don't rely on a partner. Learn who you are. Spend time with yourself. Date yourself.
100%.
Be alone with yourself a lot
Yeah,
without a phone, and learn what you want. Then go for that and fuck
agreed.
everyone else to a
I
degree.
agree.
I think,
And I think we're both on the same page with it, really. Um, and
yeah.
I want to say to anybody who is doing things because they're pressured of everyone around you. I do
Mm,
what I say in life now, which is before you jump into anything that's major surgery, reconstructive, is going to alter everything or whatever, it's going to cost a bomb. I would just urge anybody to just not knee jerk, take the time to just breathe, stop, think. Where you would have done it that day, maybe don't do it that day. Sleep on it.
mm.
Think about it the next day. And if it's something you really, really want to do, then I think, yep. But I think um, in our job, there's a lot of outside pressure. And if you can silence the noise and look inward, you'll get your answers. Like we were saying about,
Mm.
we know the answer. We just perhaps need to silence the noise and the media first
And
before
that,
we
I mean,
work it out.
my answer is kind of three-part. Firstly, really proud and happy that there are so many more young people who don't wear makeup at all. People who still uh,
Ah,
have
100%.
acne, bad skin, PCOS, and might have hair, might have. I think
Yeah.
it's very much more acceptable now, and it's great because when we were teenagers, it was cakey, full makeup.
Well, it was lashes, it was cakey, it was
Yeah.
the
If you
whole
had
gambit.
acne, you would never be seen with bare acne. I didn't know many women they would cake. So that's one thing. Second thing, I would love to live in a world, back in the day when I was a kid, where the media wasn't so rife, it wasn't on your phone that you carried with you all day. I'd love to know now my genuine opinions on things
Yeah,
without that, because my problem is who's driving this narrative and why?
yeah,
Pamela Anderson. Now, of course, there are some press that are like, look at her, she looks great. Most of the press I saw, most of the comments I saw on all of these things. Now, whether you are Pamela Anderson, who doesn't want to wear makeup and have surgery, or whether you are, it's a bad example, but let's say someone from Towie who's had loads of work done and they look a certain way that's very fashionable in their sector, both have bad press. So how can we win?
yeah.
As
Well,
women,
I
how the
agree with
fuck are
that.
you ever meant to win? Because fat is bad, but fat is good. Thin is bad, but thin is good. Old is bad. Everything is bad and good. So much in the press, it's so confusing. And I would say the narrative is generally negative.
I agree, and that's why I'd say, like you've just said, you need to back away, back away from the media for a minute, and
But it's
actually get
so
in touch with
impossible.
yourself.
It's so impossible to not have it because it's there now. When I was a kid, it wasn't so prevalent in everything you see,
But then that is as much as people. I'm going to get hate on this. I'm going to be the hated. I keep pressing it about good habits of turning up for yourself consistently and
Mm,
shutting the noise down. I cannot emphasize it enough. In a world where, like you're saying, but you can't get away, you can't get away. You have to try.
mm.
And I would say to people, you can get away because we've all got free will. We've all got choice. And to say you haven't is ludicrous to me, right? So I'm going to get a bit hate over this probably. But I would say you have to. It's certainly now, if you're feeling like that, if you're feeling like, oh my God, there's all these things and I'm not good enough, I'm not good enough, you've got to close the door and shut the noise for a bit. Go
I
into
would,
nature,
I would
find,
agree with the act, but I would disagree that you can do it. You walk,
I
how can
think
you
it's
function?
conscious
If you walk
habits.
down the street, right, you have to leave the house, don't you?
Yeah.
So if you walk down the street, every billboard, every shop front, everything has an impact on you and it's there. You can't not see it. You can't walk around blinkered. You can't burn your phone. We need it for
No,
work. It's subliminal messaging is what I'm talking about,
I
not
get that.
a conscious choice. And I think the problem is with young women, especially, the subliminal messaging is very heavy and it's very negative.
I agree with it. I agree with it. I'm not saying
And
you can get
you
away
can't,
from
it's
it. I'm not
no.
saying it's not everywhere. It is
Mm.
everywhere. But I am saying that more of us need to advocate for things that are, and more of us need to speak out. More of us need to take your makeup off. More of us need to be brutal. More, it needs to be more of that every day, seeing other women like
Yeah,
you've spotted in the
yeah.
younger generation, like I've spotted, advocating each other, supporting each other, cheerleading each other, women, because that's not going to go away, any of that, anytime
No,
soon. But the
you just
way
need
we
more
treat
and
each
more.
other in real time is going to stay.
And that's where the change is happening. You know, Kate Winslet did it, where she did that interview and she took her makeup off live.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
obviously, she's a stunningly natural, beautiful woman that
yeah,
doesn't have acne and she's gorgeous,
yeah.
but still brave. People's called her
Powerful as
brave.
well.
You know, it shouldn't be, the narrative shouldn't be brave. There's nothing brave about not wearing makeup. Men do it
No, it's
every
normal.
fucking day of their lives. It's normalizing things that are abnormal. It's abnormal to wear makeup. It's abnormal to shave your armpits and your legs. It's abnormal
Mm.
not to talk about period blood. You know, it's it's abnormal not to educate the world on things that are really happening. I think my take on surgery is I love it. And I think that the more vanity that people have has exploded this world that also benefits people who need it. You know, the money that people have put into uh, discovering new lasers and new techniques and new facelifts also benefits the more people that buy into the vanity, benefits people who need it for scar revision, who need it for
Hmm.
transplant surgery. I think it helps the world of surgery in as a whole. I would say do it if you want to do it. Just like we said, know yourself, be
Know
careful.
yourself, I would say, is the message. Just know
If
yourself.
you
Do
think you
you?
have a big
You do you,
nose and
bitch.
everyone else says you don't have a big nose, fuck them. If you want that
Yeah.
surgery, at least give it a year to mull it over. Do your research. Do your research. Don't just go to another country because it's cheap. Don't do it. Save up, get the best surgeon, get the best advice. You know, even Botox and fillers, just do your due diligence.
I would
But
agree.
I would say go for it. Why not? It's available. The world has changed. I think it's
It
amazing
has.
that there are
Mm.
people who are natural and grow old gracefully. There are some people who don't suit it. You know, there are some people that
Yeah.
can't live with themselves without, imagine being a film star in your 20s and now you're 80. It must be weird to watch yourself constantly in that young shell. So, yeah, you do you,
I agree. I
defo.
think we're on the same page.
Because
I like it.
if I won the lottery, you wouldn't recognize me, mate.
I mean,
I'd look like
I probably look like I've had a glow up if I did it rather
I
than
would
a
look like I was
reconstructive
escaping the
surgery.
law. Yeah, I'd look like face off.
Well, I think we have to call it quits there. I mean, this is
Oh.
probably, I'm going to have to, say this is probably the longest podcast we've ever recorded.
Ah,
Um,
whoops.
but there's been a lot in it, a lot of content, and it's been exciting. And I would say again to all of this, like, please, the reason that we'll get much more traction and content and even great guests or things that we can do to really really help people will be through interaction on this platform and through people actually getting in touch. Wonderful videos. Thank you so much to both of you for the video questions. They are, keep them coming. They don't have to be videos. If you're shy, you can have a voice note, and I'll put the text number on the screen. You can send that through. Yeah, just don't be afraid. Don't be afraid of us. We might be quite scary people, but don't be afraid to send us
I'm
messages.
scary.
And
You're a pussycat. I would
um
say as well, I don't know, feedback from people. So I was thinking, because obviously we love to waffle in our episodes along, I was going to also, when we put out an episode, put out bits of the episode. So if you have a low attention span like me, you
yeah,
can just watch, maybe we'll just do the question bit and people
yeah,
can just watch that, just do.
yeah,
So feedback on that would be good. Just let us know what content of
100%.
ours do you enjoy so that we can repeat it.
Yeah, and I'm still going to put the question up about, are we scared of the dentist, on the episode. So when you go to Spotify, there'll be a poll. So far, I'm the only person answering those polls.
Nana, keep
So
going, Nana.
please, I like polls. So come on, contribute.
I like big pose and I cannot lie.
Exactly. Listen, I love you, mate. I'll see you next time.
So what was I saying?
Get involved, people. Get involved. Come on.
Lost my thought, but I'm still amazing. So what was I saying?
Oh, I just banged
Keep on
that.
playing. Midlife magic man, I put a good still blazing.
Love you, mate. Big finish.